Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakammalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatana Vidam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. For those who are following, we are singing every day the Shad-Gosvamy-Ashtakam and trying to recollect few wonderful pastimes of the Goswamis and learn some interesting, important lessons. So if you have the Shad-Gosvamy-Ashtakam here, or you can see it on the Krishna Kirtana Jnana Nartana Paro Premamritam Bohnidhi Dhira Dhira Chana Priya Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujitao Krishna Kirtana Kanana Tanaparo Premamritam Bhoniti Dhira Dhira Chana Priya Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujitao Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhuvi Bhuvau Bharavaham Tarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau Shri Chaitanya Bharau Bhuvi Bhuvau Bharavaham Tarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanam Raghuyugau Jiva Gopalakau Nana Shastra Vicharanai Nipunau Saddharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanya Karau Nana Shastra Vicharanai Nipunau Saddharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanya Karau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nande Namattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatanam Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Tena Mataliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugho Shri Jiva Gopalakho Shri Gauranga Gunana Varnana Vidho Shraddha Samhridhiyanvito Papotapanikrinatano Tanubritha Govinda Kanamritai Shri Gauranga Unanavardhana Vidho Dhasamhridhiyanvito Papotapanikrinatano Tanubritha Govinda Kanavitai Anandambudhivartanaika nipunau Kaivalya nistarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugho Shri Jiva Gopalakau Buddhivardhaneka nipunau Satalya nistarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanam Yaktva turnam asesham mandalapati Shrenim sadatu java Bhutva dina ganeshakau karunaya Kaupina kantashito Udvaturnam asesham mandalapati Shrenim sadatu chava Bhutvatina kaneshakau karunaya Kopina kanta ashritau Gopi bhav rasamrita pilahari Kallola magna umuhu Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugho Shri Jiva Gopalakau Gujat kokila hamsa sarasagana Kine mayura kule Nana ratna nibhatha mula vitapa Shri yukta vrindavane Kokila hamsa sarasakana Hire mayura kule Radha Krishna aharnisham prabhajato Jiva tato yamudha Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugho Shri Jiva Gopalakho Krishnam aharnisham prabhajato Jiva tato yamudha Sanatana Raghuyugo Sankhya Purvaka Namagana Natabhi Kala Vasani Kritau Nidrahara Vihara Kadi Vijitau Chatyanta Dina Uchayo Purvaka Namakana Natapi Kala Vasani Kritau Hara Vihara Kadi Vijito Chatyanta Dina Uchayo Radha Krishna Guna Smriter Madhurima Nandena Sammohito Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Madhurima Nandena Matthonito Radha Kunda Tate Kalinda Tanaya Tire Chavanshi Vate Premon Madhavashada Sesha Dashaya Grastau Pramattau Sadha Kai Shna Nairinda Tanaya Gayanto Chakada Hare Kunavaram Bhava Vibhuta Umudha Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Gayanto Chakadhare Gunavaram Bhava Vibhuta Umudha Vande Rupa Sanatana Ayanto Chakada I'm sorry He Radhe Brajadevi Ke Chalalite He Nanda Suno Kutaha Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Padale Kalindi Vane Kutaha He Radhe Brajadevi Ke Chalalite He Nanda Suna Kutaha Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalindi Vane Kutaha Goshantavit Sarvato Prajapure Kedair Maha Vihvalau Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatanam Raghuyugho Shri Jiva Gopalakho Vande Rupa Sanatanam Raghuyugho Shri Jiva Gopalakho Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bho, Hari Bho, Hari Bho, Hari Bho. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Ashtottar Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Srila Prabhupada Noga Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nittai Gaura Premanande. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Guranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Chri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Yesterday we had a brief introduction to the Goswamis, very short. And we also had an overview of the Shad-Gosvamy-Ashtakam. And we also were able to hear a little bit of Sanatana Goswami's little pastime and Leela. We found how Sanatana Goswami very intelligently escaped from the prison house and made his way back all the way to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Varanasi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Kashi, Varanasi. He was with Chandrasekhara Acharya and Tapana Mishra, and he was going to perform wonderful leelas there. And amazingly, Sanatana Goswami found his way searching for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and came to Varanasi. He came to the place, I think Chandrasekhara Acharya's house, and he was so tired, having walked a very long way, and he sat down and waited in front of Chandrasekhara Acharya's house. You see, we heard yesterday how they were very, very humble, Rupa and Sanatana. Dhainya chadhya tumare dhainya fate mora mana. Lord Chaitanya said that, please give up your humility. Your humility is breaking my heart. In this way, he expressed how wonderful these two brothers were. I told you that Rupa Goswami is actually Rupa Manjari and Sanatana Goswami is Lavanga Manjari. All great associates of the Sakhis and the Gopis in Vrindavana, serving Radharani, and they have descended to take part in Lord Chaitanya's Leela. So, very, very exalted personalities. So Sanatana Goswami, as mentioned here, Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Sadharma Samsthapakau. Nana Shastra, various types of scriptures they studied. Vicharanaika Nipunau, they deliberated. Vichara means to deliberate, to contemplate, to understand. We do reading, then we do studying, then we do contemplation, nididhyasana, we understand, and then we have action, we have realization. Learning means a lot of things. So they were very expert in all these aspects of learning, right from the beginning to the end. Nipunau. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau. Nipunau means very expert, very proficient. Sadharma Samsthapakau. And they wanted to establish real religious principles they wanted to establish. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very wonderfully instructed Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, and all of the Goswamis, they were very deeply involved in presenting the summary of this study, which they did Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau, so that the people in Kali Yuga can easily understand. Can very easily understand. Sadharma Samsthapakau. It is not easy to understand Dharma. Sadharma is even more difficult to understand. Pure Dharma. Right? Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. The Atma becomes suprasiddhati, very happy, pleased, only when it understands parodharma. Only when the Atma understands parodharma. Savai pumsam parodharma. That parodharma is so confidential and secretive that only those people who have devotion to the Lord can understand it. The way to get to parodharma, the way to get to the essence of the Vedas is by devotion. See, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this beautiful example explained about the story of an orphan. Suddenly he became orphaned. His only father also died. So, as an orphan, he did not know what to do. So, he went and checked with his family astrologer. This family astrologer looked into his chart and said, "Oh, you don't have to worry. Your father has left a very great treasure for you. A very great treasure for you. But it's difficult for you to find it out. You must know how to dig under your house and find it out. Because if you dig from the southern side, you will see wasps and drones and all these poisonous insects will come and sting you and bite you. Don't dig from the south. If you dig from the western side, there is a deadly snake waiting there, which guards that entrance. If you dig from the, no, I'm sorry, if you dig from the western side, there is a ghost waiting too. Brahma Rakshasa, ghost will haunt you. And if you dig from the northern side, there is a deadly snake waiting for you. What is left? Eastern side only you must dig. If you dig from the eastern side, you will very easily get that great treasure. Do this carefully. So, he dug and got the treasure. This is an allegorical story. The Vedas, how to approach them. Even Bhagavad Gita. Many people read the Bhagavad Gita and speak about karma and do your duty and karma yoga and everything. Some people go close their nose and press their thing and sit in Padmasana and practice yoga, because 6th chapter Krishna told Arjuna, hold your nose up and sit down and this thing. Some people will say, just do your karma. Just do your duty. This is my karma. Etc. etc. They jumble it up, really mix it up. But the Bhagavad Gita is the world's greatest authority on yoga. In that, Krishna is very clearly saying in every place that Bhakti yoga is supreme. My devotee is the topmost yogi, he tells in the 6th chapter. After describing Dhyana yoga to Arjuna, and after Arjuna rejecting it, in the end he makes Arjuna understand that, Kaunteya, Arjuna, understand that yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta uttama mata. My devotee is the uttama yogi. Why? Because he is always lovingly serving me and is connected with me. So, the essence of all the scriptures is loving devotion to Krishna. And that loving devotion to Krishna is best exemplified by the Brajavasis, especially the Gopis. So this is the essence, loving devotion to Krishna, Prema Bhakti. That is the essence, and that is very nicely explained by the Goswamis. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Saddharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarino. For the welfare of the people of this world. Hitakarina means for the welfare. For the welfare of the people of this world, they did this wonderful thing, composing this Vedic literature. Tribhuvane, in all the 3 worlds that literature can be used. So that's why we distribute these books of Prabhupada. Coming in the Parampara, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada has captured all this information from the Goswamis' literatures, from the Parampara, and very nicely laid it out in his books. So they are very precious. And all these wonderful teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were absorbed by the Goswamis, especially Rupa and Sanatan. Like Sanatana Goswami, after his escape, he has reached Chandrasekharacharya's house and is sitting outside there, very tired and exhausted. He looks so not presentable at all. His beard and, he's dressed something like a Muslim clothes because he's Sakara Malik, the Nawab Hussain Shah's chief minister. And he somehow escaped from the jail and he's gone through some routes here, there, jumped into the Ganges and swam, did all sorts of things. And he's got this black coat type of a thing. Looks like a Muslim actually. He sat down there and he was waiting. Let me rest a little bit. I finally arrived at the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, but Lord Chaitanya inside knows that Sanatana Goswami has come. Because he is Krishna. He is Paramatma in the heart of everybody. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hrideshu Arjuna Tishtati. He knows. So he tells Chandrasekhar, please go outside and bring that Vaishnava in. If you go out, you will see a Vaishnava, please bring him in. So Chandrasekhar goes out. He goes out and he looks around because he's looking for a Vaishnava with a tilak and a kantimala and nice looking radiant Vaishnava. He doesn't find anybody. He looks here and there, he doesn't find anybody. But he looks at this person and says, this is some beggar, some Muslim beggar. He thought he didn't even count him to be a Vaishnava. So he went inside and told Lord Chaitanya, nobody's there. I didn't see any Vaishnava there. So Lord Chaitanya said, is anybody there at all? He said, yeah, some Daravesh. Daravesh means some beggar Muslim, some fellow sitting there. Him only, you bring him inside. You bring him inside. And he was brought inside. As soon as he came inside, Lord Chaitanya went and embraced him. My dear Sanatan, he was so happy to see Sanatana Goswami. I will read those portions from the Bhagavat, from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And these are so nice. You see, on the way, remember yesterday I told you that that innkeeper who was planning to kill Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami was so shrewd that he knew this fellow was going to do this to me and gave off the money to him. And he led him and said, I'll teach you how to go. I'll lead you how to go out from here. And he gave him the way. On the way, actually Sanatana Goswami met his nephew. His nephew's name was Shrikant. And his nephew said, you're going alone like this into this thing? So he gave him a nice quilt, woolen quilt, like a big shawl. You need it in your journey. So he gave him a nice, costly looking, very nice quality quilt that he wore and he appeared here. So when Lord Chaitanya saw him and embraced him, he also noticed that he has a very nice looking quilt. It's so amazing. He noticed that he has, and gave it a look, very brief look, which Sanatana Goswami caught immediately. But after all the niceties were over and everything, Sanatana Goswami went to take a bath. When he went to take a bath, he did one amazing thing. He went down into the river and to take a bath. There he saw another Bengali, saintly type of a person who has come from Bengal. And he's taking bath there. After his bath, he has dried his torn quilt. He torn in many places. And he's dried it there, sitting and chanting his japa, wearing a little gamcha, waiting for this to dry. He went to him and told, can I take this torn quilt? I'll give you a new quilt. He was wondering, why would you do that? why would you, Mashai, share with me your new quilt when you want, when you have a new quilt, why would you want my old quilt? He said, I just feel so. I don't want to use this. So he became happy. He said, you're a very nice man. You want to give me a new quilt and take my old tone one. He took that old tone quilt. It's very amazing. And he went back after taking his bath with his old quilt. And Lord Chaitanya immediately understood. One look of mine, he so fast understood that this quilt is not very good for a person who wants to renounce. This new, very nice looking woolen quilt is not the type of a thing a person should wear if he wants to renounce material life. That look of Lord Chaitanya he noticed, so shrewd, so vigilant, and he immediately went and gave it off. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very pleased, seeing that Sanatana Goswami noticed that I have noticed he's got a new quilt. This was the understanding and this was the relationship that these Goswamis had, and such strict following. They can grasp the mood immediately. You see, you can make out sometimes when people are from their facial expression, from their body language, you can make out so many things. So it's not that we are trying to be very judgmental, but in spiritual life, when a person is an aspirant, he has to be very shrewd, very sharp, very vigilant to note from the Guru, from the seniors, what is good for my spiritual life and what is not. Because often people will not directly tell you for fear that they may make you feel bad. But you can read their thoughts. This is very amazing. A person who is a very advanced disciple can do that. I used to be told that Prabhupada's disciples, there was Tamal Krishna Maharaj, who used to be very sharp in understanding at every moment what Prabhupada wanted at that moment. He would look at Prabhupada and know that he wants to open the windows as some fresh air. He will look at the Prabhupada and he will know that I think he needs to drink water. He'll correctly bring what Prabhupada wants, even before Prabhupada would ask. I've heard this from some of his god brothers, that Tamal Krishna Maharaj was very pleasing to Prabhupada, that he so nicely understood what was Prabhupada's anxiety, what he wanted at any point of time, what he was thinking, how to serve him best. Right? And that is why Prabhupada once got up from his asan and embraced Tamal Krishna Maharaj and said, you are my real son. You completely understand what I want. You can imagine when somebody understands you very well and serves you and caters you to your needs so deeply, you know this is real service. This is real service. Services of various types. There are people, you know, who will do service if they're told. They know this is needed, but let's see if he tells, if he does not say, it's okay. You know, we're very little lazy and we say that I know he wants it, but if he wants, let him tell so and then we will do it. We wait. Some people, even if they are told, they don't do. Some people make out that this person needs this. I want to serve him this way. Uttamastu chintitam kuryat proktakari tu madhyamaha adhamo ashraddhaya kuryat akarta ucharitam pituhu. The Bhagavatam describes these people. Uttamas chintitam kuryat. The topmost is chintitam kuryat. He thinks and he does, even before his guru asks him or the senior Vaishnava asks him. He will make out and he will immediately do. Uttamas. Chintitam kuryat. He will think and he will do. He doesn't have to talk. Uttamas chintitam kuryat. Proktakari tu madhyamaha. Proktakari. he will do after you have told is Madhyama, next, middle level. Adhamo ashraddhaya kuryat. The lowest level is that person who without any interest does. Oh, okay, I'll do it for you. Cha. What? Like that, and he does it. He doesn't like to do it, but I still do it. Isn't it? Are there people like that or not? We ourselves do this in different times like this. Somebody who's very familiar will say, okay, like that. And sometimes we're a little lazy, we'll say, let's see if he asks, we will do. Proptakari tu madhyamaha. But uttamaschintitam kuryat. When you need somebody very much and you love him very much, you will do immediately for him even without he says. Akarta ucharitam pitu. The person who does not do even after he is being told, don't talk about him, he is tool. He says, akarta means he does not do. Ucharitam pitu. He is as good as stool, spit, urine. Don't even talk about him. But you see Sanatana Goswami, how he made out, I think he wants me to get rid of this quilt. He made out so fast. This is high class devotee, a high class disciple, right? So we can learn a lot of things from these places in the pastimes of the Goswamis. How sensitive they were for their welfare, for the spiritual welfare and for making progress. You need to be very sharp, vigilant to know what is good for me. So you will see that Lord Chaitanya will be pleased because of that. Oh, he gave up his quilt and is wearing a torn quilt now. He has exchanged it. That's good. Because he has noticed that I have noticed. He's noticed that I have noticed. So Lord Chaitanya will become very pleased. See, Tabe Prabhu Tandra Hata Dharilana Gela Pindara Upare Apane Pashe Vasayila. Catching his hand, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Sanatana Goswami inside and made him sit on an elevated place next to him. Shri Haste Karena Tandra Angasam Marjana Tenho Kahe Amore Prabhu Nakara Sparshana. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began cleansing Sanatana Goswami's body with his own transcendental hand, Sanatana Goswami said, "Oh my Lord, please do not touch me." Prabhu kahe toma sparshi atma pavitrite bhakti bhale para bhakti bhale parat tumi brahmanda shodite. The Lord replied, I am touching you just to purify myself, because by the force of your devotional service you can purify the whole universe. He is glorifying Sanatana Goswami. I know that you are such a wonderful devotee. Bhavadvidha bhagavatas tirtha bhutah swayam vibho tirthi kurvanti tirthani swantastena gadhabrita. Saints of your caliber are themselves places of pilgrimage, because they purify. They are constant companions of the Lord, and therefore they can purify even the places of pilgrimage. This is a verse from the Bhagavatam that Lord Chaitanya is quoting. In this way, he quotes verses from the Bhagavat to show that why I should touch you. Because you are so wonderful devotee, so pure, by touching you I will benefit. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am touching you for benefiting me. Please allow me. The way to talk, somebody says, please don't touch me. No, I want to take some benefit from touching you. Please don't stop me from touching you. Right? In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will glorify Sanatana Goswami. And then he will give him wonderful instructions in Varanasi for 2 months. And this whole chapter is about the Lord instructing Sanatana Goswami. So many subject matters. And based on that, he will instruct Sanatana Goswami to do certain things. Number 1, to write literature for the sake of sadhakas, for Vaishnavas, on Vaishnava etiquette, on all these aspects of how to be a Vaishnava. So Sanatana Goswami compiled the Hari Bhakta Vilas. Hari Bhakta Vilasa. So book expansive about everything, how to put tilak, why you should put tilak, how you should be dressed, what is the meaning of being a Vaishnava, how to worship the Lord, and all these lifestyle aspects, and much more. Hari Bhakta Vilas. And he also wrote the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. These are famous works. There are many he wrote. It's a beautiful summary of the Srimad Bhagavatam and some extra stuff mentioned there. Then the Brihad Toshini and such books he wrote, all encapsulating very nicely the teachings that Lord Chaitanya gave him, so that people can read and they can become nice Vaishnavas. See, being a Vaishnava means many things. It's not Shaivite, Vaishnavite and that type of a designation. That's a different type of a level of understanding. Vaishnava is a person who is a worshipper of the absolute truth, Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, Krishna. He is called Vaishnava. Anybody who worships the Supreme Absolute Truth, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Ki, he is called Vaishnava. So, we should have guidance. What is the meaning of a Vaishnava? What is the lifestyle of a Vaishnava? What is the mind of a Vaishnava? What is the heart of a Vaishnava? What is the intelligence of a Vaishnava? How does he move with people? What is he thinking about? What is his service? How does he serve? What is his lifestyle? All these things together he wrote. And today we are able to read those things in Prabhupada's books and learn how to be a Vaishnava, a devotee. There is a way of doing certain things physically, mentally, intellectually, spiritually. All that is delineated by Sanatana Goswami. Such a wonderful personality. Sanatana Goswami, it's mentioned that Lord Chaitanya commented that he is an exceptionally sweet devotee. And he had very special sentiments for Sanatana Goswami. See? So, Sanatana Goswami not only was told to write books, he was also asked to excavate places in Vrindavana. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came there to this place, to Vrindavan, he saw, where is Govardhan, where is Radhakund, where is Shyamakund, where are all these beautiful places where Krishna performed all these pastimes, where he killed the Kaliya on the bank of the Yamuna. Where are all these places? It's all completely covered, nobody knows. Right? And in this place called Arita Grama, this place called Arita Grama, that's all the name. Arita Grama is actually where Arishtasura was killed by Krishna. And that is the place where the gopis told him, oh, you have done Gohatya, don't touch me, go away from here. They told Krishna. And they said, so what am I supposed to do to purify myself? And the famous story of the Radha Kund being formed. And then there is this Leela of them digging Radha Kund and Shama Kund and all this. Nothing could be seen. But there were two small puddles of water. Lord Chaitanya knew that this is Radha Kund, this is Shama Kund. He immediately went and took bath in that. And then only people knew that this is Radha Kund, Sham Kund. And they excavated that place. And they found a lot of treasures. They knew this is that Radha Kund and Sham Kund. In this way, he excavated Radha Kund, Sham Kund and told Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, many such places of Krishna's pastimes are hidden here. You must excavate them. And they did that. They did that. That's why today when you go to Vrindavan, you can go to Kaliya Ghat, you can go to this temple, you can go to that pastime of the Lord, you can see the Govardhana hill, so many places, the Vamshi Vata where he played the flute and attracted the gopis, and where he killed this Arishtasura, where he killed Dhenukasura, so many of these places they excavated. They knew where this will be, where that will be. So in this way, they did this amazing service of excavating places for the people of this world. That's why today when we go, we cannot be without offering our respectful obeisances in gratefulness to the Goswamis. Sanatana Goswami, he wrote so many wonderful literature, and he himself embodied all those qualities of a Vaishnava. Every day he will pay obeisances to 1008 Vaishnavas. This is everyday sadhana. And every day he will do the parikrama of Govardhana. 28 kilometers, 24 kilometers or something. Huge distance. Even when he was 65 years old, very old, he was every day doing the parikrama. And Govardhana himself came to him and said, "My dear Sanatan, you are too old to do this. You don't have to do this. You don't have to pay obeisances like this. You don't have to do this." Krishna himself, Madan Mohan, came and told him. And then he said, no, I'll never stop doing these things. This is my life. I have to pay obeisances to 1008 Vaishnavas every day. And I have to do this parikrama. And I have to continuously chant the holy name so many rounds. So the Lord felt, see, he's not looking after himself. He's going on doing his sadhana. So what the Lord did is he took a shalagram, Govardhana, big stone, flat stone, stood on it and played his flute. When he played his flute, the Govardhana Shila became ecstatic, melted. It melted and took his footprint. It melted and his footprint was there on it. And then he took that stone, Govardhana Shila, showed it to Sanatana Goswami and said, "You go around this. I accept it to be Govardhana Parikrama for you." Right? You don't have to worry. You will get the benefit of Govardhana Parikrama. In this way, Sanatana Goswami accepted it. Okay, since you are commanding me, since you say so, your word is my command. So he would go around that. It's very easy to do. Today if you go in Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan, they'll give you darshan of that lotus footprint, that's huge Shila. Once in a while he'll come and you can see that. If you go inside you can see. So a lot of devotees go around the deities. I've done my Govardhan Parikrama. You can say technically. That was Sanatana Goswami's sadhana. Such a wonderful personality. So we can learn a lot from all these amazing personalities. The teachings that Lord Chaitanya gave to Sanatana Goswami and Sanatana Goswami's relationship with Lord Chaitanya. So many pastimes. So many pastimes. Nana Shastra Vichara Naika Nipunau Saddharma Samstapakau. Seva for the sake of the society, for the sake of the people, not asking for anything, remaining very humble, very humble. So they did their seva as per Lord Chaitanya's order. They were very humble, very highly well read, and they were sitting every day under a different tree. That was their residence. Each day under a different tree, and sitting and writing these scriptures under the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sanatana Goswami is called our Sambandha Acharya. Vedic understanding comes through Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. 3 stages. Sambandha means relationship Gyan. and understanding. Abhitheya means execution of that devotional service. Prayojana means the final fruit. So we all go through these stages in our realizations and understanding in the course of following the instructions given in the Vedas. The Lord reciprocates in various ways with His devotees. And since Sanatana Goswami was given instructions by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wrote these instructions so that we may develop our relationship with Krishna. If we carry out all those wonderful things that he has written, we will develop our sweet relationship with Krishna, Sambandha. So he is called the Sambandha Acharya. And the deity which was very close to him, which he worshipped and built a temple for, is Madana Mohana deity. And the Madana Mohana deity is called the Sambandha Vigraha. By worshipping the deity of Madana Mohana, we develop a relationship, a sweet relationship with Krishna. And Madan Mohan specially blesses the sadhakas to achieve that fruit. So in this way, Madan Mohan and Sanatana Goswami as Sambandha Acharya and Sambandha Vigraha are very closely related to a sadhaka, to a devotee and his development. Our development of gradual love of Krishna. For that, understanding our relationship with God is very important with Krishna. So how Madan Mohan came is a long story which I've often mentioned. I'll briefly state that and we will end the session because it is 8:40. Madan Mohan manifested himself. These are all eternal deities. Krishna present for a very long time. And Madan Mohan deity somehow was taking shelter of Chaudhary Brahmana's home. And the Chaudhary Brahmana, a nice Vaishnava devotee, had given this Madan Mohan to his children to worship. And they were worshipping very nicely. Father is worshipping, I also will worship, and playing with the deity. So, to cut a long story short, that deity came in the dream of that Brahmana Chaudhary and told him, I have been with you for so long and I have enjoyed your wonderful service of your children, of yourself and everything. There is a very nice, wonderful Brahmana who stays on that hill. He will come for Bhiksha. That time, please tell him that I desire to stay with him and hand me over to him. This came in his dream. Madan Mohan came and spoke in his dream. So this Brahmana said, oh my gosh. And the next day when Sanatana Goswami came for Bhiksha, he told him, Madan Mohan came in my dream and asked me to hand me over to you. He said, I don't know. I can't look after Madan Mohan, deity. I am a sannyasi. I move from place to place every day. Don't have a house. Don't have any facility. I just have my little gamcha and I have my books with me. Don't have any other possession. How can I look after the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Only grihasthas like you should do it. You have wealth, you have a house, you have a facility. You can worship him. How can I worship him? Please, please. I'm sorry. He left. Because he is very busy writing. Lord Chaitanya has given him so many services to do. Where he'll be sitting and doing deity worship morning, afternoon, evening. Takes a long time to cook, to dress the deities, to do abhishekam, to keep him comfortable. It's not the type of thing I can do now. Sannyasis normally don't do deity worship. It's a grahasthas who do. So he left like that. Madan Mohan could not go to Sanatana Goswami. So, but he is the Supreme Lord. If he wants to go, he will go. So he came in the dream of Sanatana Goswami that night. And he said, why did you refuse? I want to stay with you. Don't worry, I will not ask you anything much. I simply want to stay with you. So Sanatana Goswami could not do anything but actually go and receive the deity. Then he told, you see, Madan Mohan ji, I am just very busy. Lots of service I have to do. But I can give you very limited facility. So he took and hung the Madan Mohan in his neck in a cloth when he was traveling and moving. Otherwise, he would take and hang in the tree, tie in the tree. And underneath that, he would be writing, and once in a while talking to Madan Mohan and giving him a little swing, small swing, so that he doesn't sweat, and it's very hot sometimes in Vrindavan, under the tree. And he will talk, and sometimes Madan Mohan will talk. Like that. And every day, whatever he got, a little bit, very austere food. He'll go and do Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. They'll give atta, wheat flour. So he'll put some Yamuna water in the wheat flour and make it into a round and put it in the fire. Bati. If you are from North India, you know bati. They'll soak it in the dal and they'll eat it. So he made bati. Sometimes he got chapati like that only. And whatever he got, he'll get and he'll offer to Madan Mohan. Then he'll take prasadam. Madan Mohan once came and told him, it's very nice, but sometimes, the chapati, little salt is less. Just put little salt, he told. So Sanatana Goswami, see, I know. You're starting with salt. I told you I cannot give anything special. And now you're telling salt. Next you'll tell this. Next you'll tell that and that and this, and then I cannot do all that. See, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have all this as your property. Whatever you give is what I'm giving you. If you want salt, you could have given me salt, I'd have given that to you. But you telling me that there's no salt in the chapati has no meaning to me. Because whatever you give me, by your great mercy, I'm offering to you. So I think something is there that just argued, kept quiet. Salt nahi, I cannot give now. He made his argument. And in the meantime, a big merchant, very rich man, was dealing with salt. And his whole big ship filled with salt got stuck in the Yamuna. And he was running around, somebody help me, because the salt will all, dissolve and it will go away. So somebody help me, can somebody help me? This has happened to me. So they told him, there is a nice saint on top of that hill. They pointed to Sanatana Goswami and said, if at all anybody can do something, he can do. So everybody knows Sanatana Goswami, very friendly to everybody and very nice. So this man climbed up and went there and spoke to Sanatana Goswami. My merchant, this has happened to me. They said, I can take your blessing. You can do something about it. Sanatana Goswami said, what I can do? He is the Lord of everything. You ask Madan Mohan, he will do something for you. I am a nobody. I am just a very small servant. But he can do. He is the Supreme Lord. So this merchant fell down and paid obeisances and did prarthana to Madan Mohan, hanging in the tree, just like that. Because the sadhu said that, I must listen. Very cultured people. He paid obeisance, he left. As soon as he went, the ship came out of this thing. And he said, very amazing. The sadhu. As soon as I went and saw him, when I came down, it is released. So he went back, sold it for a wonderful profit. And he was feeling very energized and enthused. He came back to see the Sanatana Goswami. And he gave all the money. He said, from this consignment, whatever money I got, I want to give it to you. I don't want money. What do I need money for? Because he's already been very rich before. I am not after money. But see, one thing you can do. You see, Madan Mohan is the Supreme Lord. He's so bad. I have to keep him in the tree hanging in a piece of cloth. Why don't you build a temple for him with this money? So that he can be put there and I can be peacefully traveling. He has a place. So the merchant said, yes. And that's how the famous Madan Mohan temple came. Beautiful temple. Akbar was also involved in it, I heard. And, Raja Man Singh was involved in it, the Rajput king. And all sorts of things happened. And then Madan Mohan was installed in that temple. Today, if you go, Madan Mohan, Govindji, Radha Gopinath Ji, these are all the most favorite deities of people who go to Vrindavan. Of course, Govindji and Gopinath Ji are all now in Jaipur, Madan Mohan and all of them, because of the attack of the Mughals, and the deities were taken. So in this way, Madan Mohan temple was constructed by Sanatana Goswami. And today we can go, of course it's all destroyed, the top is destroyed and all the things. I heard that Aurangzeb spoiled the very beautiful carvings and everything. But still, it's a temple, very beautiful temple. You can see that on the Parikrama path on top of the hill. That's the one you can see with the top broken, the top portion of the Vimana broken by Aurangzeb and other Mughal rulers. In this way, if you go to Vrindavan, at every step you will see all these Goswamis, Leelas, and all these Goswamis doing great seva to Vrindavan Dham and for all of us, so that we'll be able to go and enjoy the presence of Krishna in these places by reading their literature, by seeing Vrindavan Dham and all the temples, by associating with devotees there in Krishna's beautiful place, in Radharani's beautiful place. Shad-Gosvamy ki, Shad-Gosvamy-Ashtaka ki, Nittai Guru Premanande. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.